Did you know that you can be awake but unable to move or speak? Welcome to the terrifying world of sleep paralysis. It's a phenomenon that turns bedtime into a chilling spectacle of the uncanny. Imagine, if you will, your eyes flutter open, but your body remains in a state of eerie stillness. You're locked within your own flesh and bone, a prisoner to an unseen force. Now let's shed some light on the science behind this spectral occurrence. Sleep paralysis occurs when a person passes between stages of wakefulness and sleep. During these transitions, you may be unable to move or speak for a few seconds up to a couple of minutes. It can be accompanied by hallucinations that frequently involve an intruder in your room. Some describe it as a shadowy figure, an ominous presence that lurks at the edge of their vision. Others report a feeling of impending doom, an undefined dread that fills the room like a fog. These experiences, though petrifying, are not supernatural. They're the result of disrupted REM sleep, an integral part of our sleep cycle. But knowing that doesn't make it any less unsettling. After all, fear is not always rational, and the mind is a masterful weaver of nightmares. Sleep paralysis, a waking nightmare that blurs the line between dream and reality. It's a frightening thought, isn't it? But remember, fear is often born of the things we don't understand. Knowledge is the best defense against the terrors of the night. Oceans cover 70% of our planet, but we've explored less than 5% of them. What lurks in the uncharted depths? In the pitch-black world of the deep sea, life takes on forms that are nothing short of otherworldly. There's the anglerfish, for instance, a grotesque creature with a luminescent lure sprouting from its head, used to attract unsuspecting prey in the darkness. Then there's the gulper eel, with an enormous mouth and a stomach that can stretch to accommodate creatures much larger than itself. In these extreme conditions, life has evolved to survive against all odds. The pressure here is over 1,000 times greater than at sea level, and the temperature hovers just above freezing. Yet life thrives, feeding off the marine snow, a shower of organic material falling from the sea's upper layers. But the deep ocean is not just a gallery of horrors. It's also a place of profound mystery. New species are discovered with every dive, and we are continually learning about the complex ecosystems that exist in this inhospitable environment. There are mountains taller than Everest, trenches deeper than the Grand Canyon, and vast plains that stretch on seemingly forever. And then there are the sounds. Low-frequency hums and rumbles echo through the water, their sources often unknown. Some speculate these could be undiscovered sea monsters, or maybe even the shifting of tectonic plates. The deep ocean, a realm of darkness, pressure, and unknown terrors. Invisible, silent, and deadly, the world has been plagued by countless epidemics throughout history. These unseen assailants have the power to decimate populations and alter the course of civilizations. Think about the Black Death in the 14th century. It didn't just wipe out millions of lives in Europe, but it also changed the socio-economic landscape forever. Fast forward to the Spanish flu in the early 20th century. It infected a third of the world's population, causing an estimated 50 million deaths. Now that's a figure that can send chills down your spine. And it's not just about the past. We live in a time when new diseases are emerging at an unprecedented rate. Take, for instance, the Ebola outbreak in West Africa and the recent COVID-19 pandemic that swept across the globe, disrupting life as we know it. These silent epidemics do not discriminate. They attack regardless of wealth, status, or geographical location. They lurk in the shadows, patiently waiting to strike when we least expect. And the most terrifying part? We can never predict where the next one will come from or how severe its impact will be. So let's not forget the power these invisible killers hold. They're more than just diseases. They're catalysts of change, instigators of fear, and reminders of our vulnerability. Epidemics, invisible killers that can change the course of history. Our planet is heating up, and the consequences are terrifying. Imagine an Earth where violent storms, uncontrollable wildfires, and deadly heat waves are commonplace. This is not a distant dystopian future. It's the present, a chilling reality sculpted by the merciless hands of climate change. As our world warms, we're witnessing a surge in extreme weather events. Hurricanes are growing more powerful, wildfires more rampant, and droughts more severe. These aren't just isolated incidents, they're eerie previews of a world destabilized by climate change, a world that's becoming increasingly inhospitable for its inhabitants. The seas are rising too, swallowing coastal communities and transforming them into ghost towns. Islands are vanishing, and major cities are facing the threat of becoming modern-day Atlantises. The ocean, once a symbol of vastness and mystery, is now a relentless force, gnawing away at our shores. And then there's the silent massacre of biodiversity. Species are disappearing at an alarming rate, a mass extinction event driven by human activity and climate change. The vibrant tapestry of life is fading, each thread that unravels another casualty in this unfolding tragedy. The urgency of this situation is palpable, a haunting specter that looms over us. The time to act is not tomorrow, next year, or a decade from now. It's today. Because every moment we delay, the future becomes a little less certain, a little more frightening. Climate change, a ticking time bomb that threatens our very existence. As robots become more human-like, they also become more unsettling. Welcome to the uncanny valley. This is a concept, a space, where our emotional response to an artificial entity turns from empathy to repulsion as its human likeness increases. You see, we humans have an innate ability to recognize our own kind. But when something non-human, think robots or computer animations, starts to look almost but not quite like us, our brains raise an alarm. It's like they're saying, wait a minute, something's off here. This isn't just theoretical. Some of the most advanced robots created in recent times have sent shivers down our spines. Take, for instance, the humanoid robots with realistic facial expressions. They can smile, frown, even show surprise, but there's always something missing. An emptiness in the eyes, a stiffness in the movements, subtle cues that tell us they're not quite human. This reaction is thought to be evolutionary, a survival instinct that alerts us to potential threats. After all, in nature, a near-perfect mimic is often a predator or a parasite. So in a way, our unease around eerily human-like robots could be a testament to our survival as a species. It's fascinating, isn't it? How deep-seated and primal our feelings can be, even in the face of advancing technology. The uncanny valley, where the line between human and machine becomes disturbingly blurred. Our minds are capable of incredible things, including creating our own worst nightmares. Picture this. You're in perfect physical health, yet you're suddenly plagued by inexplicable symptoms. You can't breathe, your heart races, and you're convinced that you're on the brink of a catastrophic health event. Your doctor, however, finds nothing physically wrong with you. This, my friends, is the eerie reality of psychosomatic disorders. Psychosomatic disorders are a testament to the power of the mind, where mental distress manifests as physical symptoms. The mind, in its infinite complexity, can convince the body that it is ill, triggering actual physical discomfort. It's as if your thoughts have conjured up a ghost that haunts your body, a specter born from your own anxieties and fears. But let's not forget, the mind is not just a harbinger of doom. It also has the potential to heal. Ever heard of the placebo effect? It's when a sugar pill devoid of any medical properties alleviates symptoms simply because the patient believes it will. The mind, in its belief, triggers the body's healing processes. So we see that the mind is a double-edged sword. It can create nightmares as tangible as any physical ailment, yet it also holds the power to heal. The mind is a fascinating, terrifying, and powerful tool, capable of miracles and monsters alike. The mind, a powerful tool that can become our own worst enemy. Death is the one certainty in life, yet it remains one of our greatest mysteries. As humans, our awareness of our mortality is unique. It's a knowledge that's both a gift and a curse that has shaped our societies, our philosophies, and our personal lives. It's the grand finale, the final curtain call, yet it's shrouded in uncertainty, in questions that we still struggle to answer. Science has given us insights into the physical aspects of death. We know that our bodies cease to function, that our hearts stop beating, our lungs stop breathing. But what of consciousness? Does it flicker out like a snuffed candle, or does it transition to some other state, some other plane? Philosophically, death has been a subject of fascination for millennia. It's the ultimate question of existence, the final frontier of our understanding. Is there life after death? Do we continue on in some form or another, or is death simply the end, a void of nothingness? The mystery of death evokes fear and uncertainty. It's the ultimate unknown, the shadow that lingers at the back of our minds, the question mark at the end of our life stories. It's the specter that haunts our dreams and shapes our actions, the enigma we strive to understand to make sense of. Death, the ultimate unknown that haunts us all. We've journeyed through the terrifying realms of sleep paralysis, the deep sea, epidemics, climate change, the uncanny valley, the mind, and death. This was no ordinary trip, but an exploration of the darker side of our world and beyond. Let's take a moment to revisit these chilling thresholds we've crossed. First, we delved into the unsettling world of sleep paralysis, where our very dreams can become prisons, trapping us in a terrifying limbo between sleep and wakefulness. We found that it's not the shadows that haunt us, but our own minds. Then we ventured into the deep, dark, and largely unexplored abyss of the ocean. It's a realm filled with creatures so alien and horrifying they could easily be mistaken for nightmares. We discovered that the real monsters don't live under our beds, but miles beneath the sea surface. We examined the silent epidemics, the insidious diseases that creep unnoticed until they've spread far and wide. We learned that the most terrifying threats are often those we cannot see. We faced the stark reality of climate change, the slow-burning horror that threatens our very existence. We realized that the most frightening stories are not those of ghosts and ghouls, but of a future we are shaping with our actions. We explored the uncanny valley where the line between human and non-human blurs, creating an eerie discomfort. We acknowledge that our fear is often rooted in the unfamiliar, the not quite right. We probe the power of the mind where thoughts can manifest as physical symptoms. We accepted that sometimes our own minds can be the most terrifying places. Lastly, we grappled with the mystery of death, the ultimate unknown. We recognize that the greatest fear is not of the dark, but of what lies beyond the veil of life. These are the facts that haunt us, reminders of the unknown, the unsettling, and the downright terrifying aspects of our world and beyond.